You asked, how does the solar rebate work in Australia?
In Australia, we all can qualify for what's called a solar rebate, which makes it easier to purchase a solar system. And this rebate actually has quite a bit of history because before the rebate started in about 2006, 2007, a solar system of 1.5 kilowatt was sometimes up to $15,000. So we're talking $10,000 for 1 kilowatt of solar. Now we're talking potentially $1,000. So we have seen a 90% reduction, but we're still getting a rebate. So the rebate really started in about 2007, 2008 with an $8,000 grant for every household to put solar in by John Howard. So it was actually John Howard and the Liberals who started the solar rebate. And the benefit at the time was really that people could afford, let's say, a 1.5 kilowatt system because they were about $12,000 at the time. And with $4,000, you were able to purchase one. It took possibly about 5 years to pay back a system. Now, let's fast forward to 2022, 23, this period now, and we get on average about a $2,000 to $3,000 rebate right now. So the $8,000 has reduced a lot, but because solar systems have become so much cheaper, actually it's even more easy right now to buy a system, and nowadays the systems will actually deliver. The old 1.5 kilowatt would maybe do 10, 15, 20% of households' needs, so it was really just a token effort. Now you can get a solar system that is so big that most of your needs during the day can be covered by your system. But there are certain conditions. The first condition is that from the time that you've installed the system to the time that you apply for the rebate, it's only 1 year. So you can't have a system installed 2 years ago and your installer mucks around with the paperwork and a year and a half later you try and apply for it, you lost the rebate. But usually the installer does that, so it's not really your problem. Another condition is that the installer has to be Clean Energy Council approved and the equipment has to be Clean Energy Council approved. So you can't just pick an electrician to start putting the system on and want a rebate. They have to have the right qualifications. The system itself is only allowed to be on a building like a house, a shop or a factory. You could also consider maybe a solar carport next to a house, but it has to be wired back to your meter. So it has to be a premise that has a meter. You can't kind of use it on a house that's sitting in the middle of nowhere with no electricity attached. You also can't use second-hand equipment because that equipment most likely already got a rebate before. So it has to be brand new equipment. Now you can use the rebate for a solar PV system, but you could also use it for hot water or a wind turbine. But the majority of people nowadays always use it for a solar power system. You can only have one system per address. So you can't decide to put a 6.6 kilowatt on one roof and a 6.6 on the other side of the house and have two systems, but you could put a 12 or 13 kilowatt system in because there's no restriction how big the system can be, as long, of course, you have the roof space. So there is obviously, when there are rebates, there is a temptation for people to do the wrong thing. And I have to say, in the past, a lot of this stuff has to be weeded out, where people claim to put a system in, and then the regulator looked at the satellite and never saw the system there, or people installed gear that wasn't actually approved. And in all of those cases, then the rebate had to be paid back. So my strong advice is stick to the rules, have the installer handle it, and follow those conditions that I've just laid out. And then the rebate should be no problem, literally for anybody in Australia who owns a house. Now, I have a little bit of beef about the rebate overall because I believe the rebate is actually not needed anymore. You shouldn't get a rebate. It's $2,000, $2,500 in your pocket. But you know what? A solar system, a really good quality one, $5,000, $6,000 will set you into the mix. If you pay a bit extra, maybe $7,000. But that system makes you over $35,000 over the life of the system of 20, 25 years. Who wouldn't invest $7,000 to make $35,000? So is the rebate really needed? I would very much encourage the Australian government to review the rebate and have a look that it actually may get moved into batteries, because I want to see more people encouraged to purchase a battery solar combo. Because right now, as we're having these issues with potential blackouts and too much solar being produced in the middle of the day, the reason is we don't have a vessel. We don't have anything to capture that solar in the middle of the day to store it to when we might want to use it in the late afternoon or in the evening. So more batteries are needed. And therefore, I believe the rebate should be moved into a solar battery combo rebate so that we are seeing overall a bigger take up of solar battery combos.
Want more energy answered? Visit YourEnergyAnswers.com for quality energy products, tools and calculators, and find your quality local installers. Please support the channel by liking the video, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell, and check out all our other videos. You're still here? I'll see you next time. Bye.